So joint sitting or the provision for the joint sitting is mentioned in article number 108 of the Indian Constitution. Okay, article number 108 of the Indian Constitution provides for the joint sitting. Now, article number 108 says that joint sitting may be applicable in case of ordinary bills and financial bills. Fine. So it is not only the ordinary bill. Joint sitting provision may be applicable in case of financial bill also. Okay. In case of financial bill also. So you can understand one thing, that joint sitting is not applicable in case of money bill as well as constitutional amendment bill. Okay, constitutional amendment bill. So there is no provision for joint sitting in case of money bill as well as constitutional amendment bill, but joint sitting is applicable in case of an ordinary bill as well as financial bill. Very good. So 2 points, article number 108 as well as ordinary bill and financial bill. Very good. Now, point number 3 is that joint sitting may be convened by the President of India. So the notification for the joint sitting will be, the notification for the joint sitting would be issued by the President of India. Very good. Sir, on what situations the President of India can issue the joint sitting notification? So you just try to understand this. Joint sitting can be notified by the President of India on 3 grounds. Okay, on 3 grounds. So we are taking an example of an ordinary bill here. Suppose a bill is passed by Lok Sabha and that particular bill is rejected by Rajya Sabha. There is a deadlock, isn't it? There is a legislative deadlock that would pave the way for the President of India to think about joint sitting. It is not compulsory that joint sitting needs to be convened, but the President can think about convening a joint sitting. Joint sitting means Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha sitting together and deciding. This is what is joint sitting. Fine. So if Lok Sabha passes a bill, Rajya Sabha is rejecting this, there is a deadlock. In such a case, the President of India may notify. I did not say shall notify. The President of India may notify. It is not a necessity, but it may be a requirement. Okay, it may be a requirement, but it is not at all a necessity. Okay, so the President of India may notify joint sitting on this ground. Number 2, suppose Lok Sabha is passing a bill, Rajya Sabha is doing some amendments in the bill. So Rajya Sabha is taking the bill out and the Rajya Sabha is cutting down certain provision and doing some amendments in the bill. The Rajya Sabha is sending this bill back to Lok Sabha and asking Lok Sabha that now you consider this bill. We have done certain amendments in the bill and now you please consider this bill and then pass it. But Lok Sabha says, sorry sir, we are really sorry. We does not want your amendments to be included in our bill. We are really sorry. So in that case also there is a deadlock. There is a legislative deadlock. Case number 3 is that Lok Sabha is passing the bill. Rajya Sabha is, for the period of 6 months or more, keeping this bill pending. In that case also there is a legislative deadlock, isn't it? There is a legislative deadlock, which means there needs to be some settlement, isn't it? There needs to be some settlement. So these are the 3 cases where the President can think about issuing a notification for the joint sitting. Number 1, Lok Sabha is passing the bill, Rajya Sabha is rejecting it. Number 2, Lok Sabha is passing the bill, Rajya Sabha is amending the bill and in fact passing the bill back to the Lok Sabha. But Lok Sabha is not ready to accept the amendments of Rajya Sabha. Third one is that Lok Sabha is passing the bill, Rajya Sabha is keeping the bill pending for 6 months. In that case, there may be a joint sitting. It is not a compulsory provision, but there may be or there can be joint sitting notification promulgated by the President of India. Fine. Now, once the joint sitting is conducted, the presiding officer of the joint sitting is the presiding officer of the joint sitting at the first preference is Speaker of Lok Sabha. Okay, the presiding officer of the joint sitting for the first preference is the Speaker of Lok Sabha. Sir, if the Speaker of Lok Sabha is absent, don't worry. If the Speaker of Lok Sabha is absent, you will be having the Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha as the second preference. Sir, if the Speaker is absent, the Deputy Speaker is absent, then what will we do? Then you have the Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha. Who's that? The Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. That is the Vice President of India. Sorry, the Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha. That is not the Vice President of India. You would automatically or you would feel that it is the Chairman of Rajya Sabha, isn't it? No. Why? Because the Chairman of Rajya Sabha is not a member of Parliament. The Chairman of Rajya Sabha is the Vice President of India. So the Vice President of India is vested with the power or responsibility to the presiding officer of Rajya Sabha. He is not a member of Rajya Sabha. If a person is not a member of that particular house, he is not supposed to even participate in that joint sitting. Fine. So the first preference is Speaker, second preference is Deputy Speaker, third one is Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha. Fine. Now, what kind of majority is required for the joint sitting? If Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha sitting together and discussing a bill and putting the bill to vote, now what kind of majority is required is the simple majority. Why? Because joint sitting is a political tool, my dear friends. It is just a political tool. Why is it a political tool? See, here the Rajya Sabha creates the problem, isn't it? Now, in order to bypass or say in order to in order to cross the barrier put forward by Rajya Sabha, one of the measure which is provided by the constitution is joint sitting. Why? Because suppose if Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha sitting together, Lok Sabha has 543 members, Rajya Sabha has 245 members. They are sitting together and voting. Whose decisions would be prevailing over? If the requirement is a simple majority, it would be the decision of Lok Sabha. So that is the reason why it is considered as a political tool. Okay, it is practically not something which is a compromise or settlement. It is in a way giving an upper hand to Lok Sabha. Why? Because they are sitting together and voting. The next question is that, is it the procedure of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha which is followed as per the joint sitting or in the joint sitting? So understand that it would be definitely the rules of procedure of Lok Sabha that is followed in the joint sitting. Okay, the rules of procedure and the conduct of business of Lok Sabha that would be followed in the joint sitting.